This is The Rangers in the South, a 2.5D Pixelart RogueLike ARPG. It does have procedural environments, these are also for the dungeons too. So what do you actually do in this game? Well, you kill enemies and you will gain XP, and every level up you have a select few stats you can choose to improve. Also, there's gear which you can buy in the shop like here, or you can find it in chests around the map and at dungeons and stuff. There is a roadmap up and there's only 5 biomes in the game right now. They do plan to add more. They also plan to add more dungeon biomes and different classes and abilities. I wanted to play a melee tank build. I like playing these sort of things in games. No magic and stuff, just pure damage from the weapon that you're holding. So personally, I think the character moves way too fast. To say I'm this tanky build, I can just run like away from the enemy hit constantly, just keep circling around them. I never have to use my shield, not even once. On top of the health regen, it's slow, but it is enough to heal you, and you will never need to even use the shield. Also, like you can briefly see here, on a level up, you can have abilities to select from. Now this makes it a lot more easier and fun to clear enemies, because instead of just left clicking, by the way, you can't hold left click. This needs to be fixed. I don't want to have to spam left click every single hit of an enemy. This is really noticeable early game, but it's not so bad after you've leveled up a few times and got yourself a few abilities. There's a lot of cool abilities in this game to kill these enemies, lots of AoE too, and I think it's pretty fun, the abilities that you can choose from. Now some more kind of gameplay stuff. There's food and there's a lot of animals, lots of passive animals. They won't try and hurt you, they will most likely run away from you. But if you kill them, you'll get meat to eat, and this is the food in the game. I don't know why this mechanic exists. It does seem really pointless. I don't know at all. So that's most of the gameplay out of the way. In the top right minimap, you've got hotbar. You have an inventory screen, which is not amazing, but it's also decently fine. It's just a mess to swap out equipment. You can also drop stuff on the floor, but auto pickup is on by default, so you will just pick it straight back up again. Every once in a while, hordes will come in and attack you too. So this is a dungeon, these are procedural, and there are traps and mechanics in the dungeons. One thing I did forget to mention is on the roadmap there's more dungeon mechanics. I actually died to a dungeon mechanic because I had no clue why I was dying. I just kept walking over a trap and that's what killed me. And when you die, you do lose your stuff. I don't know if there's a way to get it back. You also lose your level and you start from at least the village. I think for a small indie game, the variety here is pretty good. There's actually good variety enemies, there's ranged enemies too, and you've got mechanics here like traps. There's a lot here that's mixing up the gameplay. One thing that I will show is the AoE abilities. I think they add so much to the game. It's way better than just single left clicking every single enemy. When you can just press one button, has a cooldown, but it's not too bad. You press that one button and bam, all the enemies just die. At the end of the dungeon you will get, I guess, bigger enemies. They have more health. I don't know if they damage you more, I can only guess they do, but they have more health, they're harder to kill at the end of the dungeon, and this is where your loot room is, where you will get all the loot for completing the dungeon. Completing dungeons will also give you a small percentage permanent increase of a stat on all characters and a little bit of XP. Now, like I said, a few problems here. You end up getting all this amazing loot and dropping it because your inventory is full. And then auto pickup, which you can probably disable, but it's on by default. And I would prefer it on, honestly, but in this scenario, they need to add like a 30-second timer from when you drop something that you can't auto pick it up. Because everything you get from the dungeon, you clear out all the rubbish in your inventory, and then you just pick it back up instantly. I think onto a worse problem now. When I exited the dungeon, I think I was over leveled or maybe over geared a little bit too. I had some good abilities and I was just one tapping everything, even just with a regular left click. I think, and I was getting like no XP. I think I was just over leveled, but because I completed the dungeon, which you should do, it's part of the game, and then you come out of the dungeon and you're over leveled for everything in the area, so there's no point to killing anything. You just got to run through them. Every so often you will see a shrine here, which you right click and it will give you some buff or temporary buff. So I think overall this game could be fun. It could be. There's a lot of abilities, a lot of different level up stats you can do. And this means there's so many, apparently hundreds, but I'm not going to say that, that's what the devs say. Hundreds of different characters that you can build using all of these different systems here, mechanics. But there's just a problem I have with the game. It's just not extremely fun. I don't think I actually ever had fun. Killing all the enemies was tedious, pressing left click every single time. Some of the abilities are good, and then you can just one-tap a whole AoE area around you. Dungeon mechanics was good, I wasn't expecting that. I just think a lot of games have what this game has, so I don't know if there's really a purpose to play this exact game. I'm just going to say PoE because it's what I could think of when playing this game. Or PoE 2, should I say more specifically. Why play this little indie game when you can play PoE 2? They're basically the exact same gameplay loop, but obviously PoE 2's got more content. I'm not saying don't support little indie games. I think indie games are way better than the bigger games, but this specific game, there's not a lot going on that makes me want to play this over other games. I don't want to be too harsh though, the graphics look good and there's some good things in mind. It's just not very fun to play. I don't think I even had fun playing this. If you think this game looks fun and you think this game is for you, it's kind of your style of gameplay and your genre of game, you'll still enjoy the game probably. I didn't, but you might. The only thing I would really say is play other games like this. There's this gameplay loop, this gameplay style, genre. Play other games. And if you don't like those games, you can try this game. Or if you've completed those games, you can try this game. But this definitely shouldn't be one of the first games of this genre that you play. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. Hopefully, you've got a better understanding of what the game actually is, what it has to offer. But anyway, thanks for watching and thanks for your time. Goodbye.